is 6 years old and is still sleeping in my bed. I took a very, very controversial decision when I had my first son that I'm sharing with you, but not everyone is gonna love it because I decided not to breastfeed.
Wow.
My son gave me the opportunity of rebirth.
We are our worst enemy. What's the difference between these two deliveries?
I think the difference, apart that I had a very bad experience in Italy, but I believe that the most important things, the big difference was me. You are imperfectly perfect.
I know that you are expert in both, so I want to know your opinion about sleep training.
You are asking to a mother that has 2 kids and 2 opposite results.
That's why I'm asking you.
Probably a new mother should consider herself a superhero.
For me, the aim of all of this is to have reality, you know? As moms, all we see in the media, on Instagram, blah, 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 is all these perfect moms wearing perfect clothes. The kids are perfect clothing.
You start, please, with this one because it's
we
something
started
that...
already.
Oh,
We
started.
yeah.
Just tell me. Am I looking good? Real mom.
Real moms, exactly. So the idea behind all of this is actually to be talking about real things, you know, that real moms want to see.
Oh, yes.
So like for me, like this morning I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I'm so stressed about this podcast. I need to look amazing. And, you know, and then I was like, no, I don't want to look amazing. I want to look my everyday, you know, like I want to look how I go on every day and how I portray myself to the world.
Yes.
I'm not going to put a persona that I'm not, right?
Yeah.
Especially I have Liam, Chloe, Lucas, and Ben,
Yes.
and Kiki.
Yes, I told you.
Exactly.
And the nanny.
Everyone. Everybody.
And me sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah, you're my little girl. All right. So today I'm with my amazing friend Stefania, and the reason why I invited her and wanted her to be my first guest on the podcast is because she has a lot to say. From being a career woman to being a mom of 2 to having her kids later in life, all these points are very important to be discussed on this podcast. So, Stefania, what are you doing right now as a career? Is this something that you've been doing before having kids, or you changed your career after having the kids?
That's a good point. I actually have been focusing on this career after. I mean, all my life in terms of profession and success, let me say, has happened after the birth.
Wow.
Yeah. So now I am here in Dubai. I'm working as a skin. I'm a skin expert. Let me say, and I work with a medical clinic, and I do medicated facial. I work on the skin.
Yeah.
Okay. And I am a medical tattooist too. Okay. But this one happened when I had my first son, when I went to Australia, because I moved from Italy to Australia, and then I decided to focus on this career. I started studying and...
So you did your studies when you were in Australia with your kids?
Actually, yes. I never stopped studying. Even last year. Even now I'm studying. No, this one is something that keeps, you have to be, especially, I love the beauty. Yeah. I mean, the beauty from forever. Before the kids were some particular thing, it was still into the tattooing, medical tattooing, beauty tattooing, and knowing a lot about the field after I've been focusing and do my study in derma. So that's what I do now.
Amazing.
So it started after. Actually, the focus, yeah.
Why did you decide to have kids later on in life? Like, why you didn't have kids in your 20s? Because
I am 20.
You are 20.
Yeah, I am 20. No. Right question. Listen, I've always been working and trying to achieve my goals first. I wasn't ready. And lucky my kids that I had them very late, because now I feel much more mature. You can say that. Yes. And yes, I wasn't ready. I wasn't feeling ready. I had to travel all around the world first. I had to achieve my goals. I was working a lot. And
So it's safe to say that you were career driven.
yes, much more. And then all of a sudden, of course, I decide one day to the other to have kids because the funny thing is that I have achieved my goal in life when I had kids.
Wow.
When I gave my first birth, when I have my first son, I actually in less than a year I have achieved my goal in my career.
Oh my goodness.
I've been changing a continent of living. So it was 3 months, and I packed with my husband. We weren't happy to live in Italy. I love Italy and nothing, but in terms of satisfaction of work and career, wasn't very meritocratic with us. Let's say that, and so we decided to move. And with the son of 2 months, we moved to Australia. And in less than a year, I was opening my own clinic.
Wow.
And
That's actually very powerful what you're saying right now, because that really proves that you can still have a life after being a mother.
of course, actually, I think, and I have goosebumps because I think my life started when I had my first son, and he knows that. He knows the power that he has in my life. He really, yeah, we are emotional when we see. Yeah, I mean, it's real life, and for me that was happened. Now you make me cry too, so we are gonna cry, both of us. And yes, my son gave me the opportunity of rebirth.
Yes.
And the power and the strength that I had when I had my kids has been too much to describe. The focus and the strength, everything. They gave me really a second opportunity.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very powerful.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm very emotional because I can relate so much to what you're saying.
I know.
And you just put the words on what I'm feeling exactly. Is like your first, it's a rebirth, is you coming back to life, actually.
Yes.
You're becoming a different person.
You know what? I finally started to take decision for me and my family and not for anyone else. I started to prioritize myself, which it's not being selfish. It's actually looking after myself was meaning that I was looking after my family.
Absolutely.
You know? So prioritize myself was the meaning was prioritize my little family, my goal, my happiness.
Absolutely.
And I've never done before. So my first son gave me that strength.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very powerful. And I think like a lot of moms nowadays, when they become first moms, they forget who they are. Like it's a blurry line. Like you don't know who you are anymore or who you're becoming.
Yes.
And it's so important to resize yourself and focus on being happy, because if you're not happy, I don't think you're going to have a happy family.
I took a very, very controversial decision when I had my first son that I'm sharing with you, but not everyone is going to love it, because I decided not to breastfeed.
Wow.
So
I know it's a very controversial subject.
Because I know how good is. I know everything. I know I'm working with doctors in medical clinics since I was young. I know exactly. But that wouldn't make me happy, because when I had him, my life was all over the place. I was moving to another continent, very far from Italy, without knowing English.
Yeah, wow.
So, I mean, my English was so basic that when I arrived in Australia, I will tell you later. But anyway, not that now is better, but much better. Yes, I can understand you actually. But what I was saying, I was moving. I was getting married, and I had to organize a wedding in 20 days, because they told us that was better to be in Australia and not to have any issue in the future. So I was skinny like that after not even a month that I had my first one, when I was like, And the fact that this boy was just relying on me and my milk, doing this big move and starting a new life, was make me feel anxious. So I knew myself. That's why I'm happy that I had my son late in life, because I knew myself very well, and I knew that breastfeeding wasn't make me feel good. Probably was make me I need to share with my husband. I'm lucky to have a husband that is
supportive.
So instead of feeling all the pressure on me, if I had to sleep,
of course,
I was asking him to help me. And this one made this passage of my life, this change of my life much more easier.
How did you feel when you took that decision to basically not breastfeed from the beginning?
You know what? I have, I think it's a quality in a lot of bad things that I have, probably. But this one, I don't feel the guiltiness, because I believe I've been working on it. Guiltiness is something that is coming from, we need another podcast to talk about it, but just to tell you the end, I don't feel it, because if we take a decision is because you have to, no?
That is the decision that you're taking of you not breastfeeding, outrights you feeling guilty. So for you, the benefits of not breastfeeding, it's a lot more than you feeling guilty about it, or you know what I mean?
Yes, I knew that I was taking that decision because my main thing is to be a happy mom. No, if I was moving in another country with a son and not being happy, unfortunately, I had a mother that wasn't very happy. So probably this one pushed my decision. No, I want to be happy. And so nothing. I took the decision, and I knew that then I was going to give my kids a very healthy life, even in terms of diet and to build up the immune system in a different way. So I create my own different way to make them strong. You know.
Did you get a lot of negative feedback when you decided to not breastfeed?
I couldn't share it.
Wow.
I couldn't share it.
Wow.
And that is good that I was old enough to
face it.
To face it, no? And yes, I couldn't even think about it. Wow. I went even to talk to someone to take some medication, because I was feeling overwhelmed even to take this decision that I knew was right for me. Yeah. So yes, the best thing is, we need always to listen.
Somebody once told me, it's a midwife that I met when I was delivering Chloe, and she told me, we are our worst enemy. And I truly, truly believe that, especially now that I have 3 kids. All my births have been very different one from the other. And I also have struggled a lot with breastfeeding. Like with my first, I was crying every single night because I was trying to get out of the postpartum anxiety that I didn't even know that I had.
And I couldn't afford it. I knew that.
Exactly.
Because I was
had to ride the wave and keep going, because this little human needs me more than anything.
Yes.
And so when this midwife told me this, when I had Chloe, I was like, yeah, it makes sense, because all the clash and all the negative things and all they're coming from who? They're coming from us, And it's so important to be able to have the strength to face,
Yes. And we need to be anyway flexible.
Yeah.
Because life is so every day we are different, and we need to know ourselves to make the right decision. It's not correct to judge, because for me that one maybe now I will act differently, but in that time has been the right decision, because I couldn't handle it, and I'm happy about it. Yeah.
So what did you do? Did you use formula from
the beginning?
Okay.
From the day
and
one.
Did you feel that it had any negative impact on you, Alessandro? Or as a kid, did he have more gas or more this? You hear all these stories, right?
It didn't happen. Listen, now my son is 12. is I shouldn't say that, but is an athlete. And he's having a sponsorship. He has been called to have a sponsorship as an athlete in his school, so it's super strong. I need to touch wood, but he never gets sick. He doesn't have any allergies. Honestly, it's not that I'm, it's not that I'm pushing people. No, the best thing is to breastfeed, but I haven't been breastfeeded too. So this is something that is probably because my mother didn't breastfeed me. Because at that time,
it was not in.
No.
It was not.
No, they told her
formula
that was better.
better.
Formula was
I'm
better.
the same. I'm a kid of the 80s.
And I have always been very strong and healthy. But I have always had a very healthy life. In my house, I've never seen a snack, a junky food. So I've been trying to teach my kids to be sporty, and I have been teaching them how to eat. And that's
breastfed, formula fed, as long as baby is fed, that's the most important, right?
Yes. I'm sure that the breastfeeding is better, but if you choose for any reason, and if you have good reason to choose not to do it, you don't have to feel guilty. That's the only thing. As a mother, they just keep pushing us to feel the guiltiness, and this we are human beings.
We already have it. You don't need to add to us.
No,
we already have that, so it's not a problem getting guilty or being guilty.
Yes. The night that we don't sleep, we only know how many are in a year.
Did you know when you had Alessandro how many kids you wanted to have, or you didn't, like you just wanted to have your first and see how it goes, or?
I thought I was going to have only one kid because no, and then I started. But I've always been in love with kids. Okay. I've always felt a connection with the kids, but not mine. And I thought it wasn't my thing. It's even because my life has been pretty complicated, let's say. So I started very late. And
do you want to share what age you had your first?
But the first one, very late. Nowadays, maybe it's more common, but I was 36.
Okay.
So it's not too late.
Well, same for me. For Lucas, I had him at 37.
Yeah,
so
it's not too late. The second was at 43. Almost 44, I think. Yeah. Now I have problem with numbers, but that's pretty much what I want to confuse you now because I'm 20. But yes, the second one was very late, and in between them, I wanted to have like 5 kids. Wow. After the first one, that was such a rebirth. Yeah. My life has changed so much in such a good way. Yeah. Difficult, no? But when people told me the most difficult thing is to have kids, no? Yeah. For me, with the first one, now that is a teenager, yes, I'm starting to, shaking. Yeah. But for me, has been probably, I don't want to say the easiest, but the best part of my life.
Wow.
Yeah. So difficult, but it's something mine, It's something that I made that, I created, and we are together. We are family. Yeah. So it's been good, and I wanted to have more, but they didn't arrive. So I didn't have a chance to have more until 43. So I had a few bad situation in between, and. Life is what it is.
But today you're happy of having 2 kids.
Yes, I'm very happy.
I know we talked a little bit about adoption.
Yes, I'm very happy, but yes, I've always wanted to adopt a child. You know what? I wanted to have a girl. I would love to have the feminine energy in my life. Even the dog is a boy. I cannot have a girl in my life. But the adoption didn't get, because my life has always been very running. Like if I have to say a word, is running. Yeah. So, oops, someone felt. And so when I had my second boy, I change continent again. You know? So every time I have a kid, when they are 2-3 months, I change continent.
So it's better not to have the third because I want you to stay here.
Yeah, it's better.
You can bring the third one here.
Yes, so I was thinking about the adoption. But our life is never, not just mine. I mean, the life is not smooth as it looks like when I talk and when I...
And that's the beauty of life. I mean, who wants a boring life?
No, otherwise it will be too boring. And so I didn't have the chance yet. I don't know if it's too late. I don't know if it will never be the time. But yes, I have been looking in adoption mostly in the last few years. Yes.
Okay. And did you take any steps for the adoption process, or it was just like a thought for you?
I've been talking to a psychologist. I mean, I did the first step. Okay. Yeah, but then it's very important. It wasn't the right time. It was COVID time. Yeah. The first step was during COVID, and for me, COVID has been a terrible time. I mean, not only for me, not very good. So it wasn't the right time. And then now we are thinking about it again. Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, even because they suggested to have the girl or the boy that you are gonna adopt has to be younger, at least 2 years of your youngest.
Ah, okay.
That's
younger
the
than
rule.
the youngest.
Younger than your youngest. Okay. But it's making sense, no? Yeah. And I didn't want to. I want really to help a kid. I don't want to have
raise from the beginning
because they can have a lot of families, but it's difficult then to adopt a child when he's 4 or 5, you know.
It's true. It's true.
So that was my idea. Let's see. I have so many plans, and in some way I'm helping other kids in different way. That's the most important.
So the first one you delivered in Italy.
Yes.
And the second one you delivered in Australia.
Yes.
What's the difference between these two deliveries? What would you say are like something major difference?
I think the difference, apart that I had a very bad experience in Italy, very bad. But I believe that the most important things, the big difference was me and my way to approach it. Yes. So for the first one, I really didn't know. And in Italy, I really didn't know what was... I was just happy. I didn't have any...
blissful.
I was just going with the flow, you know? And it was amazing until I had a problem. And I didn't know how to handle the problem. And the problem was during the birth. So, I didn't know how to breathe. I didn't know... I mean... I just was. I've always tried to be to use my instinct in my life and with my kids.
I mean, because we think like as women we are made to be mothers, like our biology, how we are, etc. We are made, but the reality is it's very different from what book says, right?
But that's why I didn't want. This is another interesting point because. When I had Alessandro, I had so many people suggesting me books to read and new theories. And I started because I love to inform myself. But these things were making me sick because they weren't representing me 100% and was giving me, that was the right way, no? And I wasn't feeling that was mine. So I prefer really was a choice. Please, don't let me go with my gut. Let me go with, and was good. Yeah. But I had problem during the birth, and I didn't enjoy that. Yeah. Whilst with the second one, I was 44 almost. I did enjoy it so much. It was difficult too, get me wrong. The same problem, but my way to...
but now as a different mom experience, you already been through it, you know what you don't want to have anymore. You know, you don't want to have that type of dramatic birth. You want to have a happy birth, even if you have pain or whatever. You will just ride the wave with it, but you are conscious of what you're doing.
And I had to go through the second one to solve the... I know that something like that happened to you. To really to not all of it, but a bit of the trauma that I had in the first.
It's a type of redemption.
Yeah, that's what I was going.
I mean, obviously, we wanted to have more kids, but the redemption comes where you are not the same person as the first one. You're not gonna let people do what they did to you on the first one.
Yes.
Like there's so many things that will change with the
Yes.
second or the third or whatever.
Yes.
So I know exactly. I mean, for me, I have a hard time remembering my birth, the first one. Like I sometimes try to remember the steps on what happened and blah blah blah, and I have like a blank in my head.
Yeah.
And I figured today is because I developed postpartum anxiety, and with that comes PTSD from my birth.
Yes.
And so what happens to your brain when you live dramatic events like this is he tries to block whatever is making you feel some sort of way, to keep going.
Yes.
And to keep having more kids.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think I have a blank. Like I have snaps of my birth, but I don't really remember how it was.
Me too. Now that you're talking, I actually don't remember. I remember a few things.
Yeah.
I remember that my mother came with. My mother is not here anymore, so this is one of the memories. She came and she made, because she thought she was in love with my son, even if she, now the grandmother, and she made the night that I was giving birth. She made a rice with. The black, the black rice, I don't know the name in English. Anyway, a very particular that I don't even like. But she thought that was looking so good. And my son would have enjoyed it. Of course, just looking at it, no? And that was like something that was driving me crazy, and why are you doing that to me now that I'm suffering? But it's a good memory, actually. Is the memory that I have, is actually the only good memory that I have that I can remember. Yeah, I remember my mom, yes. Wow. You know why you have to surround yourself with people that can stimulate and give you, because no one told me about that. My husband was just rolling behind me all the time. No, are you there? Yes, okay, that's good. When you feel that sorry, you are amazing, but of course that's because we are the protagonist, the main character. Let's face it, no? So of course he has to roll, because if it doesn't roll, I will put it back, of course, and I need to follow, no? In that case, so and he didn't have this idea, even because in the first time, oh my gosh, it was so bad, the situation. The doctor started not doing, we can't make it. Yeah, it was bad. And all of a sudden I saw a lot of doctors getting inside the room coming, and my husband in a corner crying. And I said, this is bad. This is serious. No, I'm not gonna make it. And no, this one was pretty intense, honestly. So for him has been a big trauma too. I have to be honest. He said that because after the birth, I had a natural birth, even if it was so hard. And the same day, this is funny, our friends came to the hospital to visit me, and I went out with high heels.
Yeah, he told me the story. I remember it. He's like, it's so different, because when you have your first, all you want to do is just snap back to before pregnancy.
Exactly. So high heels, and I went out to see my friends and my husband's friend, because we grew up together. We have the same friends. Yeah. My husband was like dead. So they always say, even now after 12 years, they always say, but I think Mauro had birth, not you, the first time. The second time, I was much more natural. I was not acting too a bit. No?
I think it's hard on men, because they are just looking. They cannot do anything. Yes. You're in the action. Yes. But you are in the action 100%. Yeah. So whatever he's doing there, like whatever kind of support he's having with you, he cannot do anything.
No, that's what he says all the time. I was feeling, that my help was, I couldn't do anything to release your, that's okay.
How do you manage like not feeling guilty or the pressure that we have as mothers? You know, every day we have to do things for our kids. We have to be this perfect mom and be happy and be a perfect wife. How do you manage all of that with also having a career? Because you went back to your career after having your kids.
Yes, that's a good question. I mean, you need to set the right goal, first of all, I think. You don't have to to think that you can achieve everything, that you can do everything. You are not perfect. Yeah. You are imperfectly perfect, let's say that. And so setting the right goals, not only with your work, even in your family, no? Because when I start, now that my son is 12, from him, of course, we learn. No? We need to be able to learn and grow. No? So I wanted him to be perfect at the beginning. So I wanted a perfect son. No, he's not, and so I have been stopping. Trying to achieve the perfection on me to make it. Yeah, the expectation has to be realistic. Yeah. He is what he is. And I have to accept it. And this one take a lot of pressure out of me, no? Because I need to go with the flow and not put very strict, rules in my life and the boundaries. So try to make great boundaries at work and in my family. So everyone has his role. And I can go until here, and then you have to help me. No, I can. This one is helping me not to feel guilty. I mean, is helping me being organized in that. Is helping me not to feel guilty.
So you have like a set schedule for your work, set schedule for your kids, and are they all like working together?
Yes, everyone has to work on it. Otherwise, you cannot do. And this one is even useful for a kid, no? Because I can see that having their own role in the house, and if they don't do it, is a problem because there's everything, no? The package.
But let's say it at the same time, you teaching your kid to be independent.
Yes, that's what
at the end of the day, what you're doing is you want to create independent individuals. You don't want to create somebody who's going to be depending on you.
Yes.
And it starts from there. You're doing.
Yes. And it actually works. You know what I think, something that has changed in my mind is that I'm necessary. I mean, I'm the only one that can be around my kids. Yeah. I'm telling you. I'm throwing this one to you because I know that we both feel that without us, the world is gonna die. Exactly. No one can survive. No. My kids are surviving. Yeah. And actually, in the last year that I finally got back to my work in a different way, I'm very happy and I feel fulfilled. Yeah. No? They are doing better. And I'm a bit upset about that.
They're getting too much independent right now.
Too much. No, I mean, I felt that they needed me to step a bit. Yes. So sometimes, we are so into them that we don't help them anymore. So my oldest really needed me to pull a bit out.
I mean, you know me. You know what happened with Lucas in the beginning. Like,
yes.
Lucas is not going anywhere. He's always with me. Like, I need to keep an eye on him where he's going. Yeah. And I think moving to this community helped me a little bit more.
Yes, good.
To let go a little bit.
This is important. We have to let go. So. I try to let go. So if I cannot be the perfect man that I wanted, it's okay. Yeah. No, the important is that I try to, and I work on it so much every day. I try to really focus every day on being there every moment. Yeah. I'm there. No, so now I'm here with you.
Even if it's 5 minutes, you're there 100%.
Yes, yeah. I have to be there. So if I'm at work, I'm at work 100%. Yes. I'm here now. You don't know what happened this morning. I mean, I started at 4:30 a.m. And everything happened, no? With kids, with work, with organize. And my neighbor got sick, so I had to pick her kids too. So, life is difficult, no?
But do you feel that we're more privileged than anywhere in the world living here in Dubai as moms, or you feel the same pressure is for everybody?
Pro and contra. I've been living in 4 different countries, and Dubai is giving me the opportunity to have more help.
Yeah.
But then, is the right help? Is not the right help?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have found a very good helper, and thanking her last night, I was really grateful because I came back at home very late and I had to dedicate my time to my kids because for different reason, and she made my dinner. But the same way
You make it.
yes. So this one, when I sit at the table, I told to my husband, this is being really privileged.
Yeah.
This is a privilege, no? So yes, in this case, I feel that Dubai is a very safe place to live. No, I don't feel any pressure when I leave my kid. My son is coming back from school by taxi sometimes.
Wow.
The taxi is not too expensive, like in Italy. In Italy, you cannot do it.
Forget
The
it.
taxis-
Australia.
In Australia, I mean,
Oh my goodness.
no way.
Half of your salary going there.
Yes, half of your salary, and then are they safe?
Yeah.
Here, I have the driver that send me a text when my kid is. It's amazing. So yes, Dubai is definitely helping me. On the other side, you know that I'm in love with every country, so there is pro and contra in every country. In Australia, I had so many other things. The community was helping a lot more. I didn't need any helper because I have the community helping me. Here, not. I don't find that.
Well, I think it's because UAE in general and Dubai specifically is like a transitional place.
Everyone
You
feel
know,
that
like
it's transitional.
exactly.
Yeah.
Even though we've been here for years, but I feel like a lot of people here are not really settled. Even they have a family and a house and etc.
They don't feel safe.
Yeah, they don't feel settled, you know. And I felt that for a long time, but today I feel like it's more home than,
Yeah.
you know.
I would love. This is my dream, and I hope this work that now. I'm finally, because until last year I was keep going every 3 months to Australia for a week because I have my clinic there, and my clients are waiting for me, and this. So I never put myself all in here in Dubai. Now this year I've decided that I need to give it the opportunity to be. I need to feel home in Dubai, and this I'm getting there.
So what do you think it's a myth that you want to debunk? You want to say, no, this is a myth, it's not true about motherhood. What do you think is a myth?
I remember when I was pregnant, everyone telling me, oh, you will see, it's gonna be hard, you're not gonna sleep, you're gonna be getting crazy. I mean, people should shut their mouth because actually, yes, it's true, but the strength and you are not losing yourself, you know, it's just an ad.
Yeah.
It's not something that they are taking away from you. So
You would say the loss of sleep and autonomy and whatever the first few months,
it's hard.
It's a strength rather than being like a weakness or...
Yes, but because in life, it depends always on us. We need to refocus and balance ourselves. Of course, it's hard. It's super hard. We need to feel the might is that everyone says that you are gonna be not yourself anymore, and this is the things that I've always heard, and I was a bit scared.
Yeah.
But I like the challenge. So when they were telling me that, I was like, it's not gonna happen to me. Yeah. And actually, it didn't happen. I was tired, but that was my strength. I mean, the tiredness, the struggle that I went through became my strength.
Did you have a birth plan before having your kids? Did you have a birth plan? I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that.
I'm the worst. That's my problem.
Like, I mean, even mental, you don't have to write it down, but did you have something like in your head, like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, like a birth plan, how you want your birth to be? I know you said like you go with your intuition.
Yes, my birth plan was to go only with my intuition the first time.
Okay.
Then you are different 6 years later.
So what's the difference between the first birth plan that you have and the second one?
Oh, very different. With the second one, I did my plan. With the first one, I really went with my gut, and I was very natural. With the second one, I knew a little bit more from my experience, and then I decided to have a course of breathing, of natural birth,
hypnotherapy.
Hypnotherapy, yes. And was useful, but it didn't represent me totally. Okay. So everyone has really, there's no rules, in my opinion. Everyone really needs to choose what is good for
them.
Yeah. And but I did this plan. So before I did this course, and then I nest. So I organized the room. With the previous one, I was moving.
Yeah. So you didn't have any rooms to nest.
But then, when I was 9 months pregnant, we decided to move again. So all my plan, changed. That is the difficulties and the reason why I don't make so many plans in life, because in my life everything has changed. So I don't have.
You go with the flow, actually.
You have to go with the flow. No, you make a big. I always make the big picture. I want me to be happy. Whatever it happens, I need to change and adjust myself to feel better. No, I don't know how I'm gonna feel tomorrow. I need to adjust on it. No, this one is the big goal. I know that is a bit too, difficult, but it's something that is really changed it doesn't give me any stress. If I put too many goals or too many rules, I get stressed. I'm like that. I mean,
you overwhelm yourself.
I overwhelm myself. Yeah.
What's your opinion on sleep training?
Oh, another one. Yeah.
I know that you are expert in both, so I want to know your opinion about sleep training.
You are asking to a mother that has 2 kids and 2 opposite results.
That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, but I've been I've been reading a book about the sleeping, because for me was the most important part. I need to sleep to be capable and functioning. So with the first one, I read this book that was saying we need to let them sleep in their bed from the beginning. It was very, strict. And I did. But honestly, it's been the best decision of my life. This son has never been in my bed, but happily, my son wants to sleep alone. And he's super independent. He goes, when I had the other one, I had to go to sleep to friends. He took his things and he went. As long as he has his puppet, I has been with his puppet forever. Even now, I think he's hiding it somewhere in the bed now, wherever he goes. But he's very independent. Then arrived the second one, and I said, okay, I'm an old mom. Let me do like the new moms do, no? The new theories that we have to keep them with us forever. And he's 6 years old and is still sleeping in my bed.
Mine too, so. But me, I do go sleeping from the beginning, so that's
no, this one has been a failure for me, but at some point.
So do you really feel like changing your sleep training routine with the second one gave you like more codependent kid, or?
I don't think it's the right choice. No, for me.
For you?
No, because first of all, for the same concept we said before, I need to be a happy mom. So if I don't sleep, of course, if you have a kid in your bed, you don't sleep properly, no? And then the intimacy with your husband, let's face it.
Yeah.
I mean, you are always 3 in that bed.
Yeah.
And
I managed to have 3 kids, so. You can work around it.
Okay. That's a good point. I have the dog in the bed too, actually.
Yogi is there.
And he's sleeping like a baby, so with the head in his cushion. So I did something wrong, definitely. Yes, I mean, I feel that this son, is a little bit less, is very independent in something, but
When it comes to sleeping.
it's not okay. But with my husband, because we are old, probably we don't have all this energy. At some point, we decide we don't have to fight anymore these things because it's not gonna work. We need to relax. Let it go. He wants to stay in our bed. I've never seen a boy of 12 years old sleeping in the same bed as the
of course
parents.
not.
So
I mean,
at some point, he will leave us.
yeah. But funny enough, like I was reading this article the other day, and it was saying kids 0 to 7 need to co-sleep with the parents.
But I was doing that with my other son in different ways.
Yeah.
But the sleep is the sleep. You need to sleep. Otherwise, how can you function, especially if you have work, if you want to be a mom at work? How can you function if you don't sleep? So
for me, it's different because for me, it's the highest anxiety is when I don't have my kids with me because my brain goes into 300 scenarios when they are not next to me, and I think I'm still working through the postpartum anxiety. So for me, I always worry that my kid is not covered enough, he's not breathing, or he's so the best way for me is to go sleep. That way I can sleep.
Exactly. That's why there's no rules. My best way cannot be yours. No, you can take an inspiration from another person, but never.
It works for everybody.
No, because it's not gonna work. For me, is what I need to sleep by myself. I'm the same of my oldest. I mean, I need to sleep. He needs to sleep. He needs his sleep by himself. But with my husband, we decide to surrender. And we said, you know what? Let's buy a king bed. Let's stay all together.
I'm a California king, so everybody's in there.
We can put everyone in, and let's just enjoy these things. And so we started to change our mindset, because if something you cannot control it, you have to adjust yourself. So we just adjust ourselves still for the main goal, that is to be happy. No.
So what do you want to tell to a new mom? Like, what kind of advice you want to give to a new mom?
Call me. We'll talk about it. No, you know me. I really, it's difficult that I give any advice to anyone. I know that it sounds very simple, but enjoy. If some bad thoughts is coming, just call a friend and try to make the best of that time, because it's such a magic time of our life. And after a few years, and now I get emotional again, we still are talking about that, and we get, we are so lucky to be women. In that sense, we can give lives. I mean, we make
the miracle. I know.
It's a miracle. And the nice things that we can really change the world, because we are creating a new human being as we want. No,
exactly.
No, with our principles. So you have such an amazing job in front of you,
and a powerful job.
And is bringing strength. I honestly. When they tell me, how did you make to change the continent with kids so young and changing work? I left a very successful business, because let's face it, we always help our husband. But my business was very successful in Australia, and they just leave it and I open another one. So, but the power, I don't know if a man can do it. Let's face it. Sorry, man.
Being as flexible, I don't think so. I think we are born with the flexibility of,
we can
giving.
give birth. So it's a beautiful power.
Absolutely.
Let's consider, probably a new mother should consider herself a superhero.
I like that.
Yeah. We are superhero.
Okay, so I want to give you this, and I want you to open and read the question.
Do you have sunglasses?
I'm sure you can read it.
I know it's very big, thank you. What do you think the first time Mom Stefania wanted more than anything?
When you became a mom the first time, the Stefania that became a mom, what do you think this woman wanted more than anything?
More than anything. When I became a mom.
When you just became a mom.
I mean, my son happiness, let's face it. Yeah. You just move, the focus from you to your son. I mean, yes.
Was there anything that you really wanted to happen and it didn't happen when you first had your son?
To have my mother and my family close to me. No one helped me. For a reason or for another one, no one could help me. So I was alone, completely, not even speaking the language of the country where I was. Yeah. So honestly was, that was the things that I wanted more than anything. A bit of help. You know what, we need another interesting point is that as a superhero, we don't ask for help.
Yes.
And this is something.
Should ask for help more.
Always.
Yeah. I'm learning to do that right now because I always think when it's done by me, it's done better.
And that's another point.
Yeah.
No, I've been learning to ask for help. And I had to, because in Australia I was really alone. When we moved to Australia, my son was 3 months. I got married 3 days before. I moved to Australia by myself in a hotel, the first, and my husband, on the same day we arrived, has been moved to Tasmania. Oh my God. So I was alone. Wow. Looking for a house, and everything is different. It's not like here. I mean, I had to learn the way they do. Yeah. Even the sky is different in Australia. It's not the same stars that you can see in the sky. And this is really, losing yourself. Whoa, where am I? No? And yes,
complete change they have.
Yeah. And you know what happened? And that's why I feel at home, Australia, and I feel so grateful with the Australian people. They changed me so much in a better person, because they knew, some of the moms that I have met, they knew I was in trouble. Wow. And I didn't want to join them because my English wasn't perfect and I was feeling judged. And I couldn't follow the conversation, and I'm talkative, I'm Italian, so I was feeling not in a good spot, and so I started not to go out anymore. They were calling me and I wasn't going. And one of them, Michelle, she's still a very good friend of me. Of mine, and I would always remember, I wasn't replying the messages anymore, and I was staying by myself, always by myself. And she sent me a message and said, no, you don't understand, we don't care. She read my mind. You don't care that you don't speak English or whatever. You need someone to be with.
That's what we need as moms. We need the support of other moms.
Support of other moms.
Absolutely.
Like-minded people are the most important. So don't isolate yourself. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Stefania, for coming today.
Thank you.
It was really a rebirth,
Yes.
as we say.
Yes. Thank you.